Up next on the Appraisal Buzzcast, we catch up with one of the creators with a new tool for appraisers which helps with automated appraisal reports. It also has the ability to create a floor plan and comply with the new 3.6 requirements. Stick around.
Are you ready to take your career in real estate appraisal to the next level? Join the Appraisal Institute, your go-to source for expert insights, industry trends, and the latest updates from the world of valuation. Whether you're an experienced appraiser or just starting out, they bring you industry resources, classes, and all the knowledge you need to stay ahead. Join today and be part of a community that's shaping the future of the appraisal profession. Visit appraisalinstitute.org to learn more and become a member. You're listening to the Appraisal Buzzcast with your host, Hal Humphreys.
Welcome back to today's Appraisal Buzzcast. Let me bring back in our host, Hal Humphreys. Hey, Hal, how are you doing?
Jim, I am doing so good. If I was any better, I'd be in trouble.
Well, we recently met with our guest today at Valuation Expo in Las Vegas. Joining us is Narendra Chandwani, CEO of Appraise. We'll cover his path to becoming a tech leader for appraisers and exploring how Appraise is handling the new UAD requirements. Hey, Narendra.
Hey, Hal and Jim. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, thank you so much for being here, Narendra. It was so good to meet you and get to chat for a little bit in Las Vegas. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. Let's start with your background. How did you find yourself in this crazy little space of real estate appraisal, and what inspired you to launch Appraises?
Oh, that's an interesting story. So I actually come from a tech background. I've worked for some large companies as well as some early stage startups. My dad was a real estate investor, and I got exposed to real estate very early in my life. After moving to the States and having, say, my own investment properties, I would always kind of go look at open houses and try to, come up with my own pricing for the house. And then, curiosity arose further, and I thought I could kind of be an appraiser as a part-time side gig. And then I started learning more about the whole program to become an appraiser. And here in California, we required 1,500 hours of internship. So I actually, reached out to the appraisers who had appraised my house in the past, and for the internship, they wanted me to write reports. So I kind of started to looking more deeper into it, and that's where I thought there was a big gap in the industry where we are spending so much time trying to hunt for data uh, and write reports. And I thought the idea would be to kind of put together and provide appraisers all the data they need in an integrated workflow and leverage AI to kind of automate their report writing.
That's incredibly fascinating. You know, so many people come to this business from so many different directions. I came to it from the old-fashioned direction of my father was a real estate appraiser. I'm always interested when people come to it from a different way, and I think your story is particularly unique. UAD 3.6 rollout brings a brand new requirement. Appraisers must now provide floor plans for inspections. That's a big shift. How is appraisal supporting appraisers with this requirement?
You're right, Hal. UAD 3.6 is a big change because it standardizes reporting in a way that appraisers now need to deliver floor plans for every inspection. For a lot of appraisers, that's a real pain point. Traditionally, drawing a compliant floor plan takes extra time, special tools, and sometimes even you have to rework the entire thing you have built to ensure ANSI and GSE compliance. Uh, at Appraise, we actually built a product with that centered in mind. In fact, one of the first features we had looked into is can we reduce and ease out the floor plan creation? And with modern technologies available with Apple's room plan and the computer vision, you can actually generate an accurate ANSI compliant floor plans right from your phone. No new expensive hardware is required, no measuring tapes anymore. And the way our platform's designed, once you scan or once you walk through the floor plan, we actually integrate directly real time into your report, and it just kind of goes straight into your workflow. So, what that means really in practice is instead of floor plans becoming a burden, they kind of become a byproduct of your inspection process. Appraisers actually save time in the field trying to measure the property. It reduces errors and it also meets the compliance requirement with confidence. And they can just go back to focusing and analysis of the comparables and uh, making their own judgments.
They spend more time doing the work of an appraiser and less time trying to measure the outside of a building.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you this, Narendra. Why do regulators and the GSEs, what do they hope to achieve with this new addition for floor plans for certain properties?
The reason floor plans have become necessary in UAD 3.6 is because regulators and GSEs are pushing for greater consistency, transparency, and data standardization in appraisal reports. Historically, square footage and layout were often based on sketches and narrative descriptions, and it was kind of hard for the lenders and the banks to kind of review those reports. So with the new standard kind of becomes part of the report, it's kind of defined, documented labels of data points which are part of the 3.6 MISMO. And where appraise comes into the picture is we automated and streamlined that whole process. It starts right with the inspection when you are at the property, uh, to creating that floor plan, which is ANSI compliant, and then the integration we have within the component to label everything correctly, and then pushing that into the final report along with the MISMO 3.6 XML.
Narendra, let me ask you this. How does your tool streamline floor plan creation and submission process for appraisers?
So the way our product works is it integrates technology of Apple's room plan and AI to kind of just walk through the property. So it is as simple as kind of just walking and taking a video. Uh, and and then the idea is that you label the sketches as you go along, as to this, including the staircase, the bedrooms, and the bathrooms, uh, and and then kind of just pops into the report automatically, like you would expect.
Okay, so do me a favor and just walk us through the workflow from inspection to final digital report. What does that look like?
So that looks like pulling your phone out. You don't need any other device. Uh, just walking through the perimeter or of the property from the outside to ensure you are ANSI compliant. Uh, we calculate the living area by ourselves and we give you that report. We also give you the options to add final edits to the report, to the sketch. Once you save the sketch, we push it directly to the report after labeling.
Okay, so that sounds super simple. Some appraisers, and I've had these conversations, they worry about having to learn new tools or changing their inspection process. How easy is it for appraisers to integrate your solution into their existing workflows?
Actually, that's a very real concern. Appraisers are already under a lot of pressure with tight deadlines. So the last thing they want to do is want a tool that slows them down or kind of adds more complexity to their existing workflow. So we design Appraise with that in mind. It is meant to kind of fit straight into the appraiser's already existing workflow. Uh, on an inspection, the only change is that instead of pulling out a graph or paper or a laser measure, you open the Appraise app on the phone and simply just walk through the property. You are no longer measuring from one edge to the edge. You're just walking through the edge of the property. Uh, so there's no complicated training required. So if you have taken a video on your phone, you have pretty much done a external scan. It is as easy as that.
If
Um,
you've done a video, you know how to use the product.
Yes, it is as easy as that.
Let me ask you this, Narendra, and this is just curiosity on my part. I know that, when you're building tech, when you're building new things like this, there's always technical challenges. What's the biggest technical or business challenge you've faced in adapting to these kind of fast-moving GSE updates?
I think the biggest challenge is really the pace and the complexity of the updates. When the GSEs roll out the changes like the 3.6, it's not just a form change. It impacts the entire workflow with data standards and new fields to capture and new information to capture. Uh, from the technical standpoint, the biggest challenge has been is interpreting and implementing the new MISMO 3.6 standard, is also how the standard kind of becomes a seamless process as a part of for the appraiser's workflow. And from a business standpoint, the challenge is for the appraisers to feel confident that they can keep up to the change. Everybody's kind of nervous around the change, uh, but change is never easy as well, right? So the idea behind appraise is to kind of make it as intuitive as possible and by focusing on compliance by default. So you don't have to worry about, whether you're keeping up to the standards or not. We left the software and the technology manage that for you.
Narendra, before we finish up this interview, there are a couple things I wanted to ask you about. So UAD 3.6, much in the same way as is required now, requires a building footprint for ANSI compliance. If there's functional obsolescence, they require the floor plan, and your software product, your package, incorporates the floor plan into the entire reporting process. And I think that's a really key feature for appraisers. Even if you don't have to have a floor plan, you can get it anyway with this. I guess you would call it an end-to-end product to get you from inspection to delivering the appraisal. Narendra, let me ask you, are there any other misconceptions that you've encountered along the way about UAD 3.6 in general?
Absolutely, Hal. There are many misconceptions out there. One of the misconceptions is about just adding a floor plan after the fact. So, you know, we need to evaluate kitchens and bathrooms individually in terms of quality and condition separately now. And a lot goes into the inspection moving forward than before. So in reality, the structured data we need to gather now starts at the inspection, and we need a product which kind of is mobile first and kind of helps you capture that data seamlessly and kind of leverages these technologies like computer vision and augmented reality uh, to abstract the complexity away from appraisers, and kind of help appraisers work through the entire process in a seamless way as if nothing changed between 2.6 and 3.6.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. All right, so let me do this. I need to hear from one of our sponsors real quick, so let's take a break and we'll come back.
Intercorp, a division of Norman Spencer, has your back. Comprehensive insurance coverage from a team that's always there when you need them. The team at Norman Spencer is ready to roll up our sleeves and dig into your toughest insurance questions. We're committed to appraisers and AMCs. Intercorp's programs are tailored specifically for the appraisal industry. Put our experience to work for you. Please contact Susan Lomeli, Lomeli, at norman-spencer.com to discuss your insurance needs.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Hal Humphreys. You're listening to the Appraisal Buzzcast. I'm joined today by Narendra Chandwani. Narendra, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us today. I want to warn you, Jim Morrison likes to come at me every episode with what he calls the anonymous appraiser question. I think he designs these things just to trip me up and make me feel like an idiot. Jim, do we have an anonymous appraiser question this week?
We don't have an anonymous appraiser question. If anybody wants to send one in for our experts in a future one, reach out to us at comments@appraisalbuzz.com or put them in the comments on our YouTube section. Narendra, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure seeing you at Valuation Expo. And if anyone has any questions for him that they want to ask him in person, they can still meet him at Appraisal Summit, September 27th through 30th at Planet Hollywood in Vegas.
Thank you, Jim and Hal, for having me. And I look forward to meeting all of you at the expo in September.
Yeah, we're very much excited about seeing you again at Summit next month. I cannot wait for it. Narendra, thank you again. Jim Morrison, we got anything else we need to cover?
No, I think we covered it all. Thank you, Narendra.
And if that is it, for Narendra Chandwani and Jim Morrison, I'm Hal Humphreys, and that is your Appraisal Buzzcast for this week.